To record.
Yeah.
And it's recording's on and we're live.
All right, I'm going to share my screen.
Our attendees are joining. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. You are not missing anything. There is no audio attached to this slideshow. We are just giving a couple minutes before we formally begin. Please enjoy the memories of previous Black History Oratorical Fests, and we will get started shortly. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ren Aurelio. I'm the Associate Superintendent. Very happy to see you all this evening. I'd like to formally get us started by introducing our board president, Khadijah Brown.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Berkeley Unified School District students, staff, faculty, and families. As Associate Superintendent said, my name is Khadijah Brown, and I humbly serve as the president of the Board of Education for the Berkeley Unified School District. In addition to bringing you greetings on behalf of the board and the district, tonight I have the honor of welcoming each and every one of you to this auspicious occasion, the 4th annual Black History Oratorical Fest. But before I begin with my official welcome, I would like for us to please take a moment of silence for the life of our student that we lost earlier this week, a Berkeley High student. So please join me in taking a moment of silence in your own way, whether that is bowing your head and closing your eyes, or whether that is sending good, positive vibes to the families and friends of our lost loved one. Please join me at this time. Thank you. Thank you. As said from our superintendent, since its inception in 2018, the Berkeley Unified School District Black History Oratorical Fest has a purpose of uplifting Blackness while providing Berkeley students with an opportunity to shine through public speaking. I oftentimes refer to the Oratorical Fest as one of the jewels of the district. Year after year, our brilliant and resilient students put their heart and their soul into oratorical performances. And we as community members get the unique and rare opportunity to travel down in history and hear the words of poets like Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni, and even Maya Angelou, just to name a few. Tonight, we are in for a treat. We have the privilege of traveling back down in history as we explore this year's theme, Get Up, Speak Up, Demonstrate Black Resilience and Joy. I am excited to see the performances of our amazing students and have even had the opportunity to serve as a judge this year. And let me tell you, our students are brilliant, resilient, on fire, and will absolutely blow you away. Well, many of you know that I am a teacher, and so participation is very important for me, even when you're in the audience, even at a space like this. So I'm gonna ask that you help me and you get involved in this next activity. On the Zoom panel, you'll find a few reactions. And one of my favorite reactions there is the hand clapping reaction. The reasons why it's one of my favorites is because I believe that everyone deserves an applause at some point in their lives. So today, please join me in using the hand clap reaction on Zoom to give an applause to our amazing students for their diligence, for their hard work, for their patience, but most of all, for their demonstration of Black resilience and joy. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Ms. Paula, I think you have to unmute.
Oh, I do that all the time. My apologies, everyone. Welcome again to the Black History Oratorical Fest, and this makes the 4th year. And at this time, I'd like to thank the former participants, as well as the school site teachers who have worked very hard to prepare our students for this important event, and also thank those who were part of the inception of the Black History Oratorical Fest. Former district administrative staff, Anne-Marie Caligari, past parent or current director, Laura Babbitt, who was a parent back then at the time of the inception of the Black History Oratorical Fest. And just as a reminder, the preparation for the Oratorical Fest takes place in February. However, we do celebrate Black History Month, or we didn't want to just isolate it to celebrating Black History Month during the month of February. So what we did here at the district is to have district competitions beginning in March and April as a nudge for us to remember that Black history can be celebrated all year round. And with no further ado, I'd like to turn this back over to Superintendent Ruben Aurelio.
So I know we're going a little bit out of order. I would like for us to now play the Black National Anthem. I think that is our next step. Thank you, Ms. Steffel. I think we're loading that up and we're going to listen to Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stormy the road we trod, bitter the chasing blood, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat and not a weary feet, come to the place for which our parents sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading a path through the blood of the Scion. Now from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is fast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy mind led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places of God where we met thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce two of our wonderful OFI specialists, Jocelyn Foreman and Nabet Ahmed, who will walk us through the process of the Black Historical Oratorical Fest.
Hello, everyone, and welcome tonight to the 4th Annual Oratorical Fest. Everyone before me has said all of the welcomes. I can't tell you how excited we are to have everybody here this evening. We're going to talk about the process. So poetry unit, students studied and wrote poetry in their English classes. There were site competitions. Schools hosted school-wide competitions and determined top performances for their schools and video submissions. Video submissions, the site submitted videos for the top orators and moved on in the district competition. Nabet.
Nabet, you're muted. You're muted. Sorry. There you go.
Welcome again, everyone. This has been a very, very exciting event to be a part of. So the judging process was scored in the following areas: interpretation, creativity, and delivery. We are also having another event that is that's being hosted by the Berkeley Public School Fund, and we would love for all the families, friends, neighbors, everyone is welcome to come and join this block party. It will be held on Saturday, May 21st from 12 to 3. This is a great time for us to be able to get together in person and just celebrate each and every one, and of course, celebrating our educators.
And just to add on to that, it gives the community, more specifically school communities, the opportunity to meet the members of Berkeley School Fund up close and in person. They have a very personal touch with all of their schools and all of the schools that they serve and the OP staff. And so you get to see why it is that they are who they are and why it is that they do what they do and how much they love Berkeley and Berkeley schools.
Thank you, ladies. So we're at a point where we're getting ready to start showing our competitors, our orators. I have the honor and pleasure of introducing you all to our MC for the evening, Dr. Wilbur Chikundu, whose daughter, Nisi, was first place last year in this competition. And we're excited to have them both here with us this evening. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Wilbur Chikundu, if you wanted to say a few words, and then we will get started for the main event of the show. There you are.
I'm honored and privileged to be part of this event. It's a great event, and I'm honored. Thank you for all trusting me to MC this event, great event. Who am I to stand? And today we have schools that are participating these recorded performances. First, we have Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, Longfellow Middle School, and Willard Middle School. Let's all be excited. Let's celebrate 2022. Thank you very much. And
you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me on the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you so beset with gloom? I walk like I got oil wells pumping in my living room. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Just like the suns and like the moons, and the certainty of tides, hope springing up high, still I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise.
My name is Maya Cody, and I'll be reciting Amanda Gorman's poem, Ship's Manifest. Allegedly, the worst is behind us. Still, we crouch before the lip of tomorrow, halting like a headless hand in our own house, waiting to remember exactly what it is we're supposed to be doing. And what exactly are we supposed to be doing? Penning a letter to the world as a daughter of it, we are writing with vanishing, meaning our words, water dragging down the windshield. The poet's diagnosis is that what we have lived has already warped itself into a fever dream. The contours of its shape stripped from the murky mind. To be accountable, we must render an account. Not what was said, but what was meant. Not the fact, but what was felt, what was known, even while unnamed. Our greatest test will be our testimony. This book is a message in a bottle. This book is a letter. This book is awake. This book is awake. For what is a record but a reckoning? The capsule captured, a repository, an arc articulated in the poet, the preserver of ghosts and gains, our demons and dreams, our haunts and hopes. Here's to the preservation of a light so terrible. Thank you. My name is Jamira Williams, and I will be reciting Somewhere in America. Here in America, in every single state, there are a set of standards for every subject. A collection of lessons teachers are required to teach by the end of the term. But the greatest lessons you'll ever teach us will not come from your syllabus. The greatest lessons you will ever teach us, you will not even remember. You never told us what we weren't allowed to say. We just learned to hold our tongues. And somewhere in America, there's a child holding a copy of Catcher in the Rye and a child holding a gun. But only one of these things has been banned by a state government. And that's not the one that can rip through flesh. It's the one that says F you on more pages than one. Because we must control what people say and what they think. And if they want to be the overseers of their own selves, then we'll show them a real one. And somewhere in America, a child is sitting at his mother's computer, reading the homepage of the KKK website, and that's open to the public. But that child will never have to read To Kill a Mockingbird, because it's banned for its usage of the N-word. Maya Angelou is prohibited because we're not allowed to talk about rape in school. We were taught just because something happens doesn't mean you're supposed to talk about it. They built us brand new shopping malls so we forget where we're standing. On the bones of the Hispanics, on the bones of the slaves, on the bones of the Native Americans, on the bones who fought just to speak. Transcontinental railroad to Japanese internment camps. There are things missing from our history books. But we were taught it's better to be silent than to make them uncomfortable. And somewhere in America, private schoolgirls search for hours through boutiques, looking for the promptness of their dreams, while kids on the South Side search for hours through the lost and found, because winter's coming soon and that's the only jacket they had. Kids are late to class for working the midnight shift. They give out awards for best attendance, but not for keeping your family off the streets. These kids will call you music ghetto and tell you you don't talk right, while they get in the backseat of their car with all their friends singing how they're about that life and we can't stop. And somewhere in America, schools are promoting self-confidence, while they whip out their scales and shout your body fat percentage in class. And while the heftier girls hide away, the slim fit beauties can't help but giggle with pride. The preppy kids go thrift shopping because they think it sounds real fun, but we go because that's all we've got money for, because mama works for the city, and mama only gets paid once a month. And somewhere in America, a girl is getting felt up by a grown man on the subway. She is still in her school uniform, and that's part of the appeal. It's hard to run a Mary Jane in knee socks, and all her male teachers know it too. Coaches cover up star player raping freshmen after the dance. Women are killed for rejecting dates. But God forbid I bring my girlfriend to prom. A girl is blackout drunk at the after party. Take a picture before her wounds wake her. How many pixels is your sanity worth? It's a 4.0, so cold jury. What you learned in class today? Don't walk fast, don't speak loud, keep your hands to yourself, keep your head down, keep your eyes on your own paper. If you don't know the answer, fill in C. Always wear earbuds when you're riding the bus alone. If you feel like you're being followed, pretend you're on the phone. A teacher never fails, only you do. In every state of America, the greatest lessons are the ones you don't remember learning. Thank you.
My name is Jaden. And my name is Esme. And today we will be reciting 2 paragraphs from John Lewis's 1963 March on Washington speech. To those who have said, be patient and wait, we have long said that we cannot be patient. We do not want our freedom gradually, but we want to be free now. We are tired. We are tired of seeing people beaten by policemen. We are tired of seeing people locked up in jail over and over again. And then you holler, be patient. How long can we be patient? We want our freedom and we want it now. We do not want to go to jail, but we will go to jail if it's the price we must pay for love, brotherhood, and true peace. They're talking about slow down and stop. We will not stop. All the forces of Eastland, Burnett, Wallace, and Thurman will not stop this revolution. If we do not get a meaningful legislation out of this Congress, the time will come when we will not confine our marching to Washington. We will march to the south, through the streets of Jackson, through the streets of Danville, through the streets of Cambridge, through the streets of Birmingham. But we will march with the spirit of love and the spirit of dignity that we have shown here today. By the force of our demands, our determination, and our numbers, we shall splinter the segregated South into 1,000 pieces and put it together in an image of God and democracy. We must say, wake up, America, wake up, for we cannot stop, and we will not and cannot be patient.
Hi, my name is Cruz Foster, and this is my poem, Speak Your Mind. Speak your mind, speak and spark flame and part waves with your words, even if you only have one. Speak for the one they call boy who can't find the buried courage to tell them his name. Think, for your thoughts are wondrous. Let them hear when you stutter. They'll jeer when you sputter. But don't murmur, don't whisper. Let them hear when you stutter. They'll have to listen to you roar. They'll have to, taken back to when 2 by 2 your feet shuffled just under their empathy, their ecstasy, derived from your pain. Even if they pretend they don't hear you, throw shade when they near you, they can't do away with the fact that they'll feel you and your words and your hope and your wondrous, wonderstruck, lustrous words. You have an idea tucked away in the corner of your mind. You have an earth-shattering, groundbreaking plan scribbled in a notebook. Speak it, shake your fist in the midst of all this mist, this fog of uncertainty. You can roar, that's a gift. Shed a tear for someone who hasn't been given it. Shed the fear that no one wants to hear what you have to say. You have to say it. Moments pass, potent flasks of things to say. You held your breath, not that you noticed that. The moment passes, the breath escapes like a dove at a funeral. You held your breath as a moment of silence for that thing you had to say. You had to say it. Wound up to speak, but fear of wounded pride held you back. Think back to that boy, the one with the name gone unknown. Show no light, no torch to hold and call his own. You held your breath as he cracked the joke. Because maybe it isn't cool to laugh with someone who's laughed at. You held your breath as he held his, as someone cracked his toy across the blacktop. Give someone who needs it peace of mind. Speak your mind. I've gone and given you a peace of mind. Speak your mind. Thank you.
My name is Ursima, and I am going to be presenting a poem called Unity. How many more lives need to be shattered before we turn to the next chapter? It was true. Slavery was finally abolished. They said it in the news, but from what I see, that is far, far from the truth. And yet we are still upset about our skin color. So the question is, would we still be worth fighting for? How much more blood needs to be spilled all over? Racism is not getting worse, it's just getting bolder. This is not the first time that we have been killed. It has happened over and over and over again. Repetition is the definition of insanity. What does that say? This world isn't yet broken, but just simply unfinished. It has happened since the beginning of human age, since the time of the British. They even killed him when he came, and that needs to change. If I had the choice to leave my color at the door and you just couldn't see color anymore, would tears be worth fighting for? Sometimes thoughts get out of my mind, the thought of, I don't want my life. But if you live in this time and age, then you cannot not say, I don't want this fight. And if any of us stay silent, then we all lose our fight. Ignoring it is the same as condoning it or looking away. Then at the end of the day, you'll say, I chose to stop and look away, and that might not even cut it during Judgment Day. Looking away is a choice, but it will increase the broken hearts if we can't work and use our voice. So help me call out to your direction and make some noise. It is now too late to be afraid or complacent, but the time to stand on this side of the statement. Black lives matter. Raise your hands up high till you find what means the end. Raise them high as if there are banners. There are people who raise them so high and who surrender to him because they know they cannot win this fight separate from him. He was born in the Middle East and wasn't actually white as many may believe. They called him the Prince of Peace. He is something we know little about but desperately need. This won't be another forgotten history line. So let's all rise and draw that red line and ask them, what does this look like in your mind? I may be wrong, but I don't believe that the answers weren't here the whole time. The lack of answers of not knowing what to do, but I do believe the lack of action, the application of truth. The picture is painted in front of us, the picture of unity and peace. We must not look at ourselves to find the answers, but we must be compelled. Love one another as I have loved you. There is not a Greek nor Jew, slave nor free, black nor white, male nor female. So let me ask you, what do you see when you think of free? To some, this may not sound right, and if you don't believe in him, do you believe in love? Because they are the same in one. We need love on our history side to preach that racism doesn't end happily. I'm sure you know about a powerful man who once spoke a dream where he wants all to be free. So let this generation be that generation where his dream is seen. So, let's all rise and stand to this side of the statement. Black lives matter.
Dr. Chikundu, I think you are muted. There you are.
Okay. Before we go to the next stage, I wanted to introduce myself. That all things are possible. As you have heard, my name is Dr. Walba Chigundu. I'm honored to be chosen to be the MC for 2022 Black History Oratorical Festival. I'm the former NWBA and California Waterweight Boxing Champion. I'm also serving God as a pastor, lifting God's people in every possible way. I'm also a businessman owning Clockbusters Plumbing and General Building. I've earned numerous degrees, one being a doctorate. I believe in academic prowess, and I encourage everyone to pursue excellence with determination. Many people, men and women, have excelled in their endeavors, and I believe that with the right mindset and determination, you can be next in line to a great success.
No.
Slavery tears hurt, You enslaved us, burned us, beat us, whipped us, mutilated us, and branded us. You treated us as if we were animals. You put shackles around us, metal collars, just so we wouldn't get away and realize if it weren't for the beating and the branding and the whipping and the mutilating, we would have the upper hand. Slavery, tears, hurt. We cried and begged for you to stop. We said we would do whatever you wanted. We would live in this God-forsaken world. We would follow this God-forsaken system. These tears represent the pain you put me through, the sorrow, the broken hope. These tears represent the hatred that I have. And most importantly, these tears represent my hunger for justice. Slavery, tears, hurt. The gashes you put on my skin, the hateful comments you spat at me, the stereotypes that you portrayed on me. These things are engraved in my brain, my skin, my heart. These things cause damage within me. These things are the reason that we were fighting for equality today. Because of the slavery, the tears, and the hurt.
Compilation created by Nevaeh Babbitt. Get up, stand up for your rights. Berkeley Unified School District Resolution number 2064 in support of Black Lives Matter. Whereas Black Lives Matter protests have swept the nation as demonstrators demand justice into response of the killings of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Muhammad Arbery, and far too many other Black Americans to list. And now you see the light, you stand up for your right. Whereas the Black Lives Matter movement and the civil rights and Black power movements before it has effectively articulated the injustice that exists in the intersections of race, class, and gender, including mass incarceration, police brutality, poverty, unaffordable housing, income disparity, gender inequality, poor access to healthcare, and educational outcomes. And whereas addressing the needs of African American learners requires the recognition of the inherent of Black student families and staff. And whereas within the Berkeley Unified School District there are still many structures and symbols that uphold a legacy of racism, oppression, exclusion, and inequality. I say, get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. What if Martin didn't stand up? What if Rosa didn't sit down? What if Malcolm didn't man up? Where would we be now? What if Marlon didn't get up, stand up? What if the boys didn't come to advance us? And Mandela didn't come to teach us? Where would we be now? What if Maya didn't speak out? What if Langston Hughes didn't write it down? What if Josephine Baker didn't dance it out? Tell me, where would we be now? What if Sojourner never told the truth? What if Ida B. Wells never printed the news? Harriet never went underground? Where would we be now? We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can change the world, because it is up to us. Oprah, Kamala, Ava, Tarina, and Lena, Serena, Viola, Opal, Patrice, and Alicia. You and me are the chosen. Right now, this is our moment. We are a people of motion. And now you see the light, you stand up for your right.
What do you hear when I say the word or the sentence, I'm in the hood? You think dark alleyways, bad people, guns, murder. Most of the time, that's not the case. People can't see what community means. People can't see what people mean. People get judged just because of where they live, who they live with, where they are. For what reason? They don't deserve to be judged just for where they live. They don't deserve all the negativity and hate. Because every time you go out and you see a person and you in the hood, that's a person that somebody loves and respects. When you see somebody die in the hood on the news, what do you see? Another death? Or a member of a family that was loved, cared for, nurtured, till they became an adult and just died because some officer that was corrupt decided to kill them? What do you see? What do you see now? That is my question.
Hi, my name is Alasia Sims, and my poem is titled Dear Oppressors. Dear Oppressors, am I a threat? You stare at my hair thinking, is there a weapon in there? You call my people words that ache more than the whips you made hiss at our backs. Dear oppressors, why do you love my skin? You love it so much you would strip it off me and leave me as flesh and bone. You would wear it as a costume, and when you can't do that, you paint your pale skin as dark as night. Then you take my hair. You pick, pull, and pluck what's left of my culture. I am not yours. Dear oppressors, why do you take my culture? Our hair, music, and language. We are not yours to trade or sell. Dear oppressors, you can't have our words that were thrown at the speed of light at my people. You are not black. Dear non-blacks, you are the maggots to our rotten flesh that you stripped off my people. The taste of our flesh may be sweet, but we are bitter, bitter and sour and angry. You made us moldy. Dear non-blacks, no matter how weak we get, we will never be yours. Dear non-blacks, why do you love our culture but hate us? Thank you.
Hello, I'm going to be performing a poem I wrote called Us Women. One might think that by now we wouldn't tell women to lower their voice, lower their head, cook, clean, act like a woman. But let's face it, that is the world, the society that we live in. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Serena and Venus Williams, Kamala Harris, Malala Yousafzai. Do those names mean nothing? In a galaxy built and surrounded by men, women are shining stars, the ones who hold together the sky. Then why do men get the spotlight? Because of the belief, the so-called power that us women don't have. Excuse me? Women deserve just as much respect, education, pay, and opportunities as men. But some people forget the word equal, yet know unjust like the back of their hand. I am proud to be a woman. Proud to be beautiful, strong, kind, phenomenal. Proud to say that one day I may give life to another being. To know that we women will make a change.
I'm going to be performing a poem all should hear. Have you ever heard, "You're cool for a girl," or something along the lines of that? We've learned of many powerful, strong, independent women that spent their whole lives fighting for their rights, fighting for what's right, for what we shouldn't need to fight for. So why can't all of us just listen to what they're saying? What all of them have been saying since the start of time. Why do we have to be treated differently? Do you know how many times I've heard, "I don't fight girls"? They're so confident they can beat me up, they won't even try. Just because I'm a girl. Just because of the long twisted history of expectation and tradition. Just because of the unfair thoughts installed in their minds. I would think that in all the years of humanity, we would finally end the unjust history of discrimination. I would think that there would be equality for everybody, anywhere, anytime. Let us climb the mountain of prejudice on the extensive road of history. Let us overcome the obstacle that is in the way. Let us persevere, no matter how dark the night or hard the fight. We face the storm of unfairness and pass through the cave of discouraging voices that tell us that we can't and we won't. We'll do whatever it takes for our voices to be heard. I would think that in the vast ocean of people, everyone would be treated the same. At some extent, we are the same. We all know the crashing waves of anger and windy rivers of confusion. We all feel the cloudy puddles of sad tears that rise to the shining sun of hope. Hope. Hope that the sun will shine again. Hope that people will see past the so-called delicateness and prettiness of women. Hope that they will see our strength, our cunning, our ability to lead. Like all humans, we have hope. For people to see us for our full potential, see us for who we are. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Julia Warren Boyd.
My name is Olivia Monica.
And my name is Alani Sotovijo-kun.
And we'll be performing Somewhere in America
by Belicia Escobedo,
Rihanna McGavin,
and Zariah Allen.
Here in America, in every single state, they have a set of standards for every subject. A collection of lessons that the teacher is required to teach by the end of the term.
But the greatest lessons you will ever teach us will not come from your syllabus.
The greatest lessons you will ever teach us, you will not even remember. They never told us what we weren't allowed to say. We just learned how to hold our tongues. And now somewhere in America, there's a child holding a copy of Catcher in the Rye and there's a child holding a gun.
But only one of these things have been banned by their state government, and it's not the one that can rip through flesh.
It's the one that says F you on more pages than one. Because we must control what the people say, how they think.
And if they want to become the overseer of their own selves,
then we'll show them a real one. Somewhere in America, a child is sitting at his mother's computer, reading the homepage of the KKK's website. And that's open to the public. But that child will have never read To Kill a Mockingbird because his school has banned it for its use of the N-word.
Maya Angelou is prohibited because we're not allowed to talk about rape in school.
We're told that just because something happens doesn't mean we are to talk about it.
They build this brand new shopping mall.
So we'll forget we're really standing on the bones of the Hispanics, on the bones of the slaves, on the bones of the Native Americans, on the bones of those who fought just to speak.
Transcontinental Railroad to Japanese internment camps.
There are things missing from our history books, but we are taught that it is better to be silent than to make them uncomfortable. Somewhere in America,
private school girls search for hours through boutiques trying to find the prom dress of their dreams.
While kids on the south side spend hours searching through the lost and found because winter's coming and that's the only jacket they have.
Kids are late to class for working the midnight shift.
They give awards for best attendance, but not for keeping their family off the streets. These kids will call your music ghetto. They'll tell you you don't talk right.
Then they'll get in the back seat of a car with all their friends,
singing how they're about that life and we can't stop. Somewhere in America,
schools are promoting self-confidence.
While they whip out their scales and shout out your body fat percentage in class.
While the heftier girls are hiding away, the slim fit beauties can't help but giggle with pride.
The preppy kids go thrift shopping because they think it sounds real fun.
But we go because that's all we got money for. Because Mama works for the city. Mama only gets paid once a month. Somewhere in America,
a girl's getting felt up by a grown man on the subway.
She's still in her school uniform, and that's part of the appeal.
It's hard to run in knee socks and Mary Janes,
and all her male teachers know it too. Coaches cover up star players raping freshmen after the dance.
Women are killed for rejecting dates.
But God forbid I bring my girlfriend to prom.
A girl is blackout drunk at the after party.
Take a picture before her wounds wake her.
How many pixels is your sanity worth?
What's a 4.0 to a cold jury?
What'd you learn in class today?
Don't walk fast.
Don't speak loud.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your head down.
Keep your eyes on your own paper. If you don't know the answer,
fail and see. Always wear earbuds when you ride the bus alone. If you feel like someone's following you, pretend you're on the phone. A teacher never fails, only you do. Every state in America. The greatest lessons are the ones you don't remember learning.
There's so much wiped from the history books I keep in schools, the pain, the ignorance, anything that would ruin the image of our ever so perfect nation. But as things stand, we've barely gotten anywhere. These examples are visible every day. In a white woman clutching her purse tighter as a black child walks by, afraid of a threat that is not there. In the wrongdoings of our country wiped from the history books like tears lost to the winds of time, swirling away till they have turned to morning dew. And sharing only the whitewashed version of history because people can't bear to have their grandchildren know that they harassed a small black girl for going to school, hurling their insults like rotten fruit. Because as things stand, we've barely gotten anywhere. With the way schools teach it, there were two people in charge of the civil rights movement, Dr. King and Rosa Parks. They don't remember the other members of the NAACP, the ones who encouraged and fought just as hard, and the ones who walked miles every day to protest for the rights they were owed. Because they didn't do enough for history to consider them relevant, because being killed was the only way to be remembered. They don't remember you if you survived the torture. They remember you if you fell victim to the hunger of the monsters that took lives until there were none left for them to take, the blood of their victims soaking into the southern dirt. But they only remember those who were in charge, the ones who were the movement, because our country has barely gotten anywhere. Because as a nation we say we embrace change, but if we do, where the change is promised, all the things we say about a movement that has turned global, because our country has barely gotten anywhere.
My name is Damon, and I'll be presenting what a December lesson is. Well, son, I'll tell you. And for me, ain't been no Christmas there. It has tags in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and pages with no carpet on the floor. There. And all the time, I've been climbing on and reaching landings and turning corridors, corners, and sometimes going in the dark. And right with no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, 'cause you find this kinda hard. Don't you fall now. For I still going, honey. I still climbing. And life for me, even that Christmas there.
Imagine a world of chaotic violence. Too scared to fight for what should be wrong or daring the idea of what could be right. Destruction and vengeance too close to my sight, but still I can imagine. A world of chaos, of violence, of war. If only I could be taken to somewhere where tear gas won't rain on the vague faces of the fearless, protests on every corner, but yet the streets remain silent. They remain fearless. The world redlined on the lines of people just trying to survive. America is graying, but the soft sounds of stifle still stare into my soul. We were not lifted off our chains only to be taken again by matters of margins and lines. We created a figment of my imagination. If only I could tell you to breathe, because it took 9 minutes and 29 seconds to start a war, a movement, a new chapter in this ever-burning book. America, why can't we just shatter this boundary, break this wall, this box we have put ourselves into for an ever unknowing reason, never forgetting the time it took to gain freedom, but yet our standard is still white men. Never knowing how we got here is just one of the things that make up America, along with colorist responses to the people that made us who we are, because apparently we can't seem to remember our standard is a defect of incest. Beautiful blue eyes at the tide of a war in our sight. In between our eyes is something called a brain, so please, America, let's use it. This country is facing revolution without a revelation, but yet you won't let a woman tell you common courtesy due to your ignorant ego you call a best friend. I don't want your pity when you're the one rotting in a jail cell because you flattered a minor half your age. You gave us guns. So why can't you imagine the shots they would ring out? Why can't you fathom the idea of a world where innocent children die in the hands of men just trying to have fun? You block out the importance and blame it on your mother, your sister, your black neighbor, just because you can't take a shot at ruining your reputation further. Imagine a world where people are forced to call themselves free, even though they can't walk down a street without being catcalled, hate crimed, or discriminated against. Imagine a world where their leaders just seem to not care, twiddling their blonde, box-dyed hair and thinking about the affair they could have with the fairest, the prettiest, the skinniest of women. Well, guess what? Welcome to the US, the world we live in.
Hi, I'm Asha. I'm in 7th grade at Willard Middle School, and this is my original poem. If I had $1 for every time someone said that I was whitewashed or that I didn't act black enough, I'd be richer than Jeffrey Bezos. It's funny because people who say this are supposed to be my brother or my sister. It's funny because I keep my receipts to prove I was really a customer and not a stereotype. It's funny because I didn't used to wear sunscreen just to become a few shades darker. It's funny because if it was the 1800s, I'd receive just as little money as you. It's funny because if it was 1955, I'd boycott too. But it's not funny because I benefit from colorism every day, from my white mom and her family, from my Irish last name, from my first name that doesn't sound too sketchy, from my voice not sounding too black. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I really am. I won't ever be able to see your point of view. I won't ever be able to have a clue. I'm in a gray area. Gray like cement, gray like 10 cents. Gray like the mixture of black and white. Gray like the in-between. Apologize. When are you going to realize that Oreo, half and half, and whitewashed aren't my name? That I'm not bleached? That I'm not laughing?
Hello, my name is Akoni, and I'm going to be forming a poem called You're Not the Only One. To every little black kid, you're not the only one. The numbers of times we've been stereotyped, it's a big sum. To everyone who's been looked at and treated as a criminal animal, I've been there and still am. These times are backbreaking for us, and it costs the backbone. Because they know they can beat us, because they're young. And you racists only hate the ones they can beat. That's why the killings are young. That's why there are a lot of racial slurs hit to certain black people. That's why they said I was shoplifting just because I was black. That's why. You are not the only one. We'll have to be strong just to survive. We'll be tough because we're put in the shadows even when it's our work. Then a climax with everyone's eyes and cameras are on us. We will show them and end on the fuss. And we won't go to the back of the bus. They will never change. We'll have to change just to survive. They'll give us the nails to learn that they're all privileged. Such as there's a marathon, a man gets seen for helping someone. But in reality, the only way for us to be seen is to come first. Now to beat someone flying up in the hearse. Yeah, I know. I've been there and still am. But I can tell you now is that you're not the only one.
Dr. Chigundu, we're waiting. You're up.
This is the moment of judging. We've had all our students, our children reciting all these poems. This is the time to introduce Myra Paulson to introduce the judges and announce the winners.
So for judges, I'd like to thank Director Ty Alper. This is his first year being a judge. Thank you, Director Alper. President Khadijah Brown. I think this is her first year too. Thank you and kudos to Director Brown. I'd like to thank Regina Chigula, the BFT Vice President. Thank you, Regina. And unfortunately, we don't have a picture for Frank Hernandez, who is the president of the Berkeley Council of Classified Employees. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. And we can just skip over me.
Oh, come on, Paula Phillips. You need a proper acknowledgement as a judge. Paula Phillips, our coordinator of classified professional development and an instrumental part in organizing this event for you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben. And Director Julie Sinai, thank you. This is her first time being a judge too. And I just want to say thank you to all of the judges for taking the time out of your busy schedules to judge our students in this event. Thank you. I want to turn it over to Dr. Chigundu to announce the winners, unless our former winner is present. Is Nisi available?
Yeah. Yes, she's available.
Okay. Nisi? Nisi was the winner of last year's competition. She is Dr. Chigundu's daughter and is currently a junior at Berkeley High School.
Yes.
Do you want to share your screen with Nisi, Dr. Chigundu?
Nisi, come over and share with me. Nisi? She's in a Zoom class.
Okay, so Dr. Chigundu, we'll give you the honor of announcing the winners.
Where do I find the winner? Maya Cody from Martin Luther King Middle School. Is the winner. Selma from Martin Luther Middle School.
It's the second place winner.
For the second place.
And drum roll, please.
And Never compilation written by Never, Longfellow Middle School. Congratulations. Good job to everyone and excellent work. And it's great to all the participants. Thank you. Congratulations to Maya, Arema, and Navari. Wonderful job done. Congratulations to all of the amazing students from John, Jorgen, Blamberg, from Rona Sharif, to everyone, congratulations. From Laura, Babich, to everyone, yay! And yeah, we just looked so proud of you. But I have a good shout out of my son's old middle school, Longfellow. Jocelyn, you're up for final comments.
I'm just so proud of you, Mr. Chagunda. I remember when you were a new parent at John Muir. I saw the potential then, and I knew that this would be a great opportunity for you and your family. Thank you so much for choosing to do the MC tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity.
I do want to say, as being part of the committee and one of the judges, I just want to say thank you to my colleagues who helped bring this Oratorical Fast forward this year. While we had hoped to have been able to present this during or do it in person, unfortunately, the COVID restrictions weren't released in time. And hopefully next year we'll be able to bring this back in person. There's so much energy when this is done in person. And I was a judge at the very first event, and I just can't tell you how much it means or how much energy there is during a live event. And I do want to acknowledge everyone, Associate Superintendent Ariello, Jocelyn Foreman, Raina Steffel especially. A lot of work went into bringing this event and pulling this event together with the recordings, and we're grateful that Raina did this last year, and she brought her expertise to the table this year. So Raina, thank you very much. And then honorable mention to Kamaro Gwen, manager of the African American Student Success Project. He was unable to be here tonight, but we do want to thank him for his efforts as well. He pulled together the program and sent us on our way for us to finish out the program. And I'm going to turn this over to either President Khadijah Brown and or Associate Superintendent Ariello.
Just echoing what you left us with, Paula, really big acknowledgement and thank you to all of you who really supported this event and getting it together. Thank you to our principals, our school sites at those 3 middle schools for their representation. This evening, your schools are represented really well. And I look forward to next week's event where we get to see our elementary students in their Oratorical Fest. President Brown, I'm going to give you the last word.
Thank you so much. Aren't our students absolutely amazing? They were on fire. Their energy fueled me, and I know it absolutely fueled you. But above all, I want to give 3 special appreciations. The first, of course, is to our students who were absolutely incredible and amazing. I'm going to say that for the rest of the month, probably the rest of the year, how incredible and amazing they are. The second appreciation is to Ms. Paula Phillips and all of the faculty and staff members who helped make this event possible. Ms. Phillips called you all out by name, and I appreciate her doing that. That means I don't have to, but I do want to give an appreciation to all of you all for your hard work. You all have gone above and beyond the call of being faculty and staff members here in BUSD and have really poured into our students in an incredible way. So thank you for doing that. And my last and final appreciation is to all of you family members, guardians, and parents who have really just done amazing work with your young people. We know that none of this could have been possible without you all practicing lines with them. Some of you I know were recording your students. Some of you I know you probably had to tell your students to take the gum out or stop saying or repeat the poem over and over again. But we thank you for your hard work. We thank you for showing up and showing out once again as parents and always supporting our Berkeley Unified School District community. I know that I have the last word of the night and I don't want to stay on too long, but I just want to say thank you all so much for this incredible event. And I want to also appreciate our MC this evening. Thank you so much for your work, for being here. Ms. Jocelyn shared your story of starting off as a parent to where you are now. So thank you so much. You are also inspirational to us all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. An amazing night, BUSD. We are all so very proud of you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.